The Croatia regional has come and gone, and you know, this is a pretty meta-filled event, except for Sky Striker creeping on in and saying, "Hi, I'm still here." Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So your breakdown for this regional, pretty standard picture that we've seen so far. You got Tearlaments at the top. Yeah, partner. I love constantly seeing the success turnover rate of that deck because it's actually crazy. Just like seeing the shift in the format from, you know, Sprite being the very front runner for so long to just snap your fingers and you're like, all right, cool. Now we see the domination shift here to what would be Tear. Okay. I mean, once again, RNG mills always, I guess, will have a better, higher ceiling than a consistent board across things. Variants. We also had two Sprite decks, one of which was Sprite Runick. Sprite Runick has become, how do you say, a little bit more of a mainstream style of deck. I mean, if anything happens on a particular ban list where we see, you know, something happen to Mystic Mine or some sort of shift along the way, I think Sprite Tear will still maintain some little piece of the format. And then, of course, like we had Orcus and Sky Striker merged together, you still have that Sprite Tear element deck where you get the best of, I don't lock myself, I can do full fusion combo, and then I can go ahead and then do my Tear combo. Or my Sprite combo. Like, what do you do? Like, that's like the crazy thing that you get when you merge those two particular decks. It's just crazy value town because of the generation of certain effects. We also have Punk Synchro making its way into Top Cut. I haven't seen a Punk Synchro deck do well in a second, so that's actually kind of cool to see. And then we also have that Sky Striker deck that made its way into Top Cut as well. Honestly, I'm just happy to still see a little bit of Sky Striker still showing up within as crazy of a format as this really has been. Let's pass on over to Top Deck List. Winning the event here is none other than Philip playing Tearlaments. Not surprised about that in the very least here. The fact that we are playing the new little Aqua guy, that the level 4 that gives you interactions to dump, is absolutely beautiful. We've seen that show up at a YCS in a top 32. Never really picked up outside of that, but the fact that we are seeing that here is good. Of course, double Dynamiscus. I also like the fact that this build is playing Ghost Reaper with the Earth Golem adding Nister as well as a possible side target. That might have actually just been something really cool that you could bring in depending on your little interaction points within the format, especially like if you know the localized metagame or something that you might be dealing with. Having something like that at your disposal doesn't seem like a particularly bad thing. Outside of that, the Gamma's drivers, it's pretty straightforward for what you would see for a deck like this. So good job. All right, you really do love to see like what we can get. Second place here is another tier deck. This one is playing the Danger Package. The Danger Package has been very interesting to see come and go. The Danger Package was definitely the leader for a little while in the metagame, but we've seen a shift out of it. We're also playing the Curious Eradicator build. Eradicator Epidemic Virus just ensures that you don't have to worry about getting Mystic Mind. Like, the fact that you can just flip EV and then, you know, go to town is absolutely nuts at the end of the day. Like, thank you, Curious and Nightmare Griffin, for allowing them to revive it. Just remember, Nightmare Griffin's a light monster. Alright? Don't fall for the shenanigans of them trying to tribute it. Alright? The more you know. That's just basic sense. But the amount of people that I've read recently who were like, oh, my opponent can't do that? No, they can't. All right. Next up is our Sprite Tear Hodgepodge Turbo deck. So this is where you're going to use your Tearlaments package to go through all of the little fusion combos that you all know. All right, and then you get to play your Punk package to facilitate some pretty big synchro plays. All right, so Chaos Roller for the mill 5. Checkaroonie. I mean, why would you not want to mill 5 cards? And then when you think it's all done, you can go through full Sprite combo and then do your job. Interesting enough, we're not playing starter in this build. We actually ended up still playing the Curious package and the Nightmare Griffin. The Sprite package in this deck feels very, very, very small, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing here at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, you all get to I guess like variants. Also, the Ghost Reaper in the main deck is pretty cool. That's definitely going to be a reason why this deck had the chance to actually succeed. Next up here, 4th place. Oh boy, good old regular Sprite. We are in fact citing the red resonator, or the creation resonator, 4 time. That's very, very basic. We're playing the Pot of Prosperities for the turbo draw, or turbo filtering power. We're also playing Double Smasher. I think it's going to be one of the more unique things you're going to see out of this list here. It's just like the value you're going to get from Sprite Smasher. All right, like seeing 2 of those in the main deck is fine. We also have Space Rock here. Space Rock has been gaining a lot more play as of late. Honestly, the fact that Space Rock, if a tier player is just like going through the Nightmare Curious board, you know, going through all this dumping and all this other shenanigans, you just get a free blow off to clear a board, and your opponent's just going to be left with really nothing. Like, that's where the value in the Space Rock is coming from right now. That's why players are looking at the card, wanting to play it, because it's just free advantage. All right, like, the card is absolutely amazing. Next up is our top 8 Punk list here. So we are playing the Punk field spell. Yeah, we are really dedicated on this Punk package here. Honestly, double of the trap card, double or triple imperm is fine. The field spell says draw a whole lot of cards. Basically, we're going to be relying on the Synchro toolbox side of this deck to generate what I would say would be your advantage chicken tendies. I'll see that we have the Silent Graveyard down here in the side deck. That card, as a side deck trend against Tear, has been really, really solid. I definitely like just punishing the opponent, turning off the graveyard. Yeah, I guess a discard can be a little bit discouraging from wanting to see play with it, but honestly, I think that's fine. Outside of that, the rest of this deck feels very standard for the most part, so nothing else really too crazy to say here. Next up is our next Sprite list, but this is our Runick package in here. I will say every one of these combination hybrid builds I've seen, they only ever play the one Runick field spell. They never go out of their way to play more than one. I guess generalized points for that being, you know, they're not going to go after your field spell, really. You're going to set up, you know, Sprite Elves, targeting protections, and you're going to start doing all of your combo that you normally would do with Runick. Well, then, well, the Runick cards actually give you mill out power against the opponent. It's actually kind of an interesting idea, because all of your monsters set up like huge interaction points and punishing effects to the opponent, and then you just mill off your opponent's resources. Like, it seems like a pretty good idea to include them. I also see that we're playing Sanctum Scythe down in the side deck. Why would you not play Sanctum Scythe, right? If it's still legal, why not take advantage of it, right? That's just how it works. Good Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, next up here, we have Sky Striker. Finally, something of interest down here. I will say that Striker making top cut is not that surprising to me at the end of the day, because, to be honest with you, this deck's power is still second to none in this format. Honestly, yeah, Mystic Mine is going to be the hard carry for this deck. Not surprising about that. We also get Space Rock in here as well. We already know like how good Space Rock is going to be for allowing this deck just to be able to handle certain matchups, which once again is going to be an amazing factor. Triple Widow Anchor, double Shark Cannon is fine. Only one Afterburners in the main deck. And then I see that we also have none other than yeah, we're playing Shared Ride. Man, Shared Ride actually kind of disappeared for a little while, but that's overall good to see. All right, well, I mean, to be honest with you, in terms of, you know, localized metagame and things like that, I'm not surprised to see any of these results having done well overall. And the last list I actually have for you guys here is another tier list. This one's actually extending out the danger package with Bigfoot and friends, good old Super Polys in the main deck as well. Dark Roll and No More for board breaking. Dynamiscus and the Eradicator Epidemic Virus for the full bring back. Deck heavy's actually in the side deck as well. I see we have Ghost Reapers as well in the side deck. Ghost Reaper definitely is one of those cards that you, once you hit what you're aiming for, the game should pretty much be yours. You shouldn't have to worry about really anything. Well, that is the regional, I believe, out of Croatia for you guys. So what do you think about these results? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.